Real estate family. I hope everyone is well. I hope you guys are good. What I'm going to be talking about in today's video is how to turn seller leads into listing appointments. And trust me when I say that today's video is going to be super valuable. So whatever you're doing, wherever you are right now at the moment, just pay close attention. If you can get access to a pen and a pad, highly suggest that you go get it because I'm going to be dropping some bombs today. All right. So what do? I essentially help real estate agents get more sellers and buyers using AI and automations. And if you want to chat with me, you can just click on the link in the description below. And yeah, if you find this valuable, subscribe, like, comment, share, wherever you're seeing this. I'm really happy to see how we can help you or how you can get value from us. All right, cool. So just to get straight into it, let me just move this right here. When it comes to turning seller leads into listing appointments, from working with over 500 agents, this is what I've learned, and I'm really going to be covering the pivotal aspects and the parts of the entire process. So let's start off with number one. So first things first, what's very important is that you need to use the right vehicle for speed and automation. Now, what do I mean by that? When I speak about the right vehicle, I'm really speaking about, the right method that's going to help you get there a lot faster and a lot quicker with automation. So the best way I could really paint a clearer picture is that if you wanted to travel to a certain destination, so I'm in South Africa, for example, so let's say you wanted to go from Joburg to Cape Town. There's multiple modes of vehicles that you can use to get to Cape Town, right? You can use a car, you can walk, you can drive, you can use a train, for example, or you can use a plane or even a helicopter, for example, right? There's all those different vehicles. Now, which vehicle is going to get you there a lot faster and quicker, and that's going to be more efficient, that would require less work, right? So for example, you can drive there, but you are going to be physically driving, which means that you have to be paying attention on the road, and that's going to take a little bit more time. However, if you're on a plane, for example, not only are you going to get there quicker, all right, you're getting there relaxed. And that's the whole purpose of what I mean by using the right vehicle, is that many agents are using certain vehicles like cold calling, all right, which requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, very similar to driving, very similar to, running down to Cape Town, for example, where you have to physically do it yourself, which takes time. You're going to get there eventually, but after how many years? And that's the goal here at the end of the day for us, is how can we get there a lot faster and quicker? The right vehicle that we use number one, social media. We use the algorithm from social media to find out the right sellers. And then we use AI automation, which is essentially gathering all the intel, qualifying them, and then automatically getting them to book an appointment with our clients. That's the whole process here, so that our clients could literally just be sick the whole week and they're still getting appointments, they're still getting leads. All right, and that's the goal here, is how can we get appointments automatically without having to consistently qualify and go through that whole entire long process. Okay, so using the right vehicle is very important. Then the next thing is, as well, is that you need to be able to attract attention by using editorial direct response ads. The best way I could really explain this is when you're looking at the advertising space, right? I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this. If you maybe drive past a particular billboard, let's say you see a billboard of Coca-Cola, for example. Coca-Cola, they use abstract, or let me rather say brand advertising. So what is brand advertising? Brand advertising is advertising that doesn't necessarily need to make sense, all right? It's maybe a picture of someone who's happy holding a product, or someone or a couple doing something, right? But it doesn't necessarily need to make sense. It's just a really high quality image picture that has the product, and that is it. Okay, it doesn't need to make sense. That's brand advertising. Now, I see many agents fall victim to this because they think that that's the best way to advertise. No. And I get this question of, okay, what makes your ads different compared to mine? Well, you use brand advertising, which is the worst way to advertise, and you're going to waste a lot of money. When in actual fact, what you need to be doing is that you need to utilize editorial direct response ads. What are editorial direct response ads? These are ads that are driven, number one, to get a direct response from you, but how it works is that it's done in an editorial manner. Take a look at newspapers, take a look at magazines. Their entire focus is to get you to buy, to get a direct response from you and getting you to buy that paper. So how do they do that? They utilize words like breaking news, all right, or they utilize certain headlines and copywriting, which is essentially selling with words. They utilize words that will capture and engage your attention to pull you in, to get you to go buy that magazine, to get you to buy that newspaper. How oftentimes when you're standing at a line at a supermarket store and you're browsing through the magazines or you're browsing the newspaper and there's something that captures your attention, which it causes that impulsiveness to actually go and buy it. That is what I mean by that. They found a way to attract your attention, right? By putting it right by when you're just about to go buy a product, all right? Go buy your groceries. And then they use editorial and direct response ads as a combination to pull you in and create that impulsive sense to actually go and purchase. That is very, very, very important. If you can do that right, you're never going to struggle when it comes to getting and attracting leads. Then what you also need is you need to have an airtight system for seamless flow of sales process. So what I mean by that is many agents that we worked with in the past wouldn't have an airtight system. So let's say they may be running ads themselves or they're cold calling, and then they would manually have to do the entire process themselves to take customer or client from getting their attention up until you have a listing appointment. We have an automated process to make it a lot faster and quicker so that you don't have to be the one who's manually going through this entire process. Okay, I have to get the lead's attention. I have to convince them that I'm the best. Then I have to qualify them. Then I go see them in person. I sell them on myself. No. You need to have an airtight system that's going to specifically automate what can be automated so that by the time you go see them in person, it's now just a matter of you essentially just signing the contract. I always like to say that in our system, we want to make sure that we are selling ourselves as an entire agent, right, before we go see the seller. So what I mean by that is we want to secure the deal before we even see the seller in person. And it's just purely because we've got an airtight system from the ad to when we qualify them, to when we engage with them, to when we're adding value and giving them so much material that they see us, that we are the best agent that they need to work with. Okay. And they see us working only with us and no one else. All right. Then the last two, which is basically automations for seed planting and growth over time. So what I mean by that is you're not going to convert every lead into a listing appointment. That's just how business works, okay? However, in order for you to ensure that you're increasing the maximum amount of appointments, it's very important to have automations in place that's going to plant the seeds so that they will eventually, once they are ready to sell, they come to you. So what I mean by that is I created a video not so long ago where I spoke a little bit more about how to get listings from an agent who has too many, and I spoke a lot about the market cycle of markets. When every given market there's people are ready to buy right now or people are ready to move forward, then majority of the people are typically those who are in research mode and those who are unaware. And typically people who are in research mode are people who are either going to only sell in the next 3 to 7 months, give or take, right? Or those who are unaware. Now in that 3 to 7 months, this is where you need to have the right automations so that not only are you planting seeds, right, getting people interested, okay, to engage with you by attracting them and getting them into your ecosystem, but now you need to be able to nurture them over time. How do you do that? By utilizing automations, where, for example, if somebody enters your ecosystem from your ad, for example, and they're not ready, what are you sending them in that 3 to 7 month period that's going to add a little bit more value? I always like to say that the reason why people don't convert, or the reason why people take so long to convert, maybe within that 3 to 7 month period, is because they're conducting research, right? Remember, this is the biggest investment of their life, or this is the biggest decision that they need to make. So the bigger the commitment, the more value you need to add. So essentially what you just want to do is that within that 3 to 7 month period, you want to have the right automations where you're adding value, okay? You educate them as much as possible, which is essentially taking them one step closer to making that decision to list with you and get that appointment as soon as possible. And then lastly, it's just utilizing pushback questions to get defensive responses and leveraging. Okay, so what I mean by that is, what do most agents do when it comes to getting leads? Okay, when they get appointments, they automatically push and sell themselves. And your clients know this, right? You also know this as well. If you're talking to a salesperson, and it's all happened to us, you can just already tell that the way that they sell themselves, you already know that they're just trying to get a commission. So most oftentimes, if they're asking you questions just to get a little bit of an idea in terms of about you, you're just going to give them surface level questions, because you know if you spill too much beans, they're going to use that as leverage, right? And use it against you to make a decision. However, what I mean by using pushback questions is showcasing that You don't really care. You just actually want to know why they're looking to make that decision, but in a pushback way. I'll give you an example. So tell me, Mr. Seller, the market right now is terrible. You've seen how the interest rates are going. Okay. Why do you want to sell right now? Or why are you thinking about selling right now, especially given the market conditions at the moment? Can you see that's a pushback question? I'm essentially pushing back. I'm not selling myself. I'm not saying how I'm the best. I'm not talking about why you should be working with me. I'm pushing back. And the reason why I'm pushing back is because I want them to get defensive. I want them to get defensive with their response according to why they are thinking of selling or why they want to sell. And then that answer that they give me, I'm going to then use that as leverage. Because if I'm selling myself, I'm not really going to know exactly why they want to sell, because they're always going to give me a surface level answer. But if I push back, then the beauty around that entire process is that now they're going to get defensive. So, for example, they'll be like, look, I need to sell right now because we cannot pay the bond. Things are tough. Our kids have moved out, and we just don't see the need or necessarily the purpose of having this house. Now I can use that response as leverage for me to push the sale forward. Anyway, guys, I hope this was valuable. I'll see you in the next one. If you liked it, please share it with someone who you know will get a lot of value from this, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care.